Yo, 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 another guitar lesson here for you. We've got, just wanted to share with you, I'm doing a little bit of prep for a gig I've got, and this is a tune that Grateful Dead does. I'm a little ignorant when it comes to the history of the Grateful Dead, so feel free to enlighten me. I'm gonna assume this is a cover, that they're doing an older tune. But maybe not. Maybe they wrote this song. I don't know. It seems like it's an old blues tune called Big River. I'm pretty sure this is like maybe even Johnny Cash or something. I don't know. But it's like a country blues kind of thing. And I thought I'd do a little bit of a video on how I approach improvising, just playing along with this tune, because it's one of those cool tunes where you've got, it's just a simple form, and it's just on repeat. So we got a couple things I'm going to go over with you here. We're going to go over just some rhythm exercise, kind of way to play rhythmically. And then also, of course, we're going to do a little jamming, and just going to show you how to jam over this here. Let me just get to the form. Okay, so here's the form. We've got 3 bars of A, and it's in A, and it goes to B, which is the secondary dominant, to E. So B is not actually in the key of A. Okay, B minor is. But what they're doing is they're adding the 3, they're raising the 3 to give you that pull to the E. And I've discussed this in some prior videos, so take a look at those if you haven't seen that chord substitution videos. So this is a perfect example of a chord substitution. Got the 1, a major 2. Some people call it the 5 of 5, which is written here because it's the 5 chord of the 5 chord. So if you were in E, B is the 5, and E is the 5 of A. It sounds a little confusing, but that's what's going on. So that B is just for kind of a half a bar there to go to the E, and then we're back to 1, and then we got 4. 1, 5, 1. Now here they've got all of them just triads, and then they've got the E dominant 7 on the 5 chord there. Since it's a blues tune, since it's an old country blues tune, you can turn any of these chords into dominant 7th chords, and you're going to have some success. So check it out if I played it like... This is a dominant 7. They're all dominant 7s. So yeah. So we can work with that, but I'm going to just show you how I'm just going to kind of move around, mostly just triads, and I'm going to be mindful of the flat 7 in each chord. Okay? There's the flat 7, flat 7. Oops. You can play little melodic lines. That's just kind of a little bit of rhythm. Let's do the solo. Now it's a backing track, so you can technically solo over the whole thing if you want to, but it's good to get your rhythm down. And if you're going to do some exercises, if you're going to practice this kind of thing, I would suggest memorizing the form, but the form's here for you, so use it until you don't need it anymore. But once you've memorized it, you can flow a lot better, anticipate. So I'm going to take a little time I'm just going to play a solo. This is going to be kind of just to show you how important the triads are, because if you just play a blues solo over this, you can sound great for sure, but you're missing out on some really tasty lines. So I'm just going to play triads only this first pass through and show you what it sounds like. Hopefully I come up with some decent stuff here. So here we go. Okay, so that was just triads. About 99% of that. I think I'm pretty sure I played just triads there. And so the reason I do this is just so you can see how fruitful it is to learn your triads and what it sounds like. I mean, if you don't like what that sounded like, then you're obviously not going to necessarily want to learn your triads, which is a good heads up. You don't want to waste your time on it. But yeah, I'm in the camp that you should definitely learn your triads if you're interested in getting better at guitar and also improvising, and then also just making the song your own. Because if you noticed during the rhythm, I'm not just sitting there playing. A lot of people will just sit there and they'll find the A here. Okay, this is getting the job done. That's totally getting the job done. But how fun is that? I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably fun for a little while. And if you're singing, that's a whole nother story. But if you're the lead guitar player, I mean, come on. You got a whole instrument here. So, again, just practicing a little rhythm, make it your own here. Oops. Create movement. Right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Okay, another guitar solo here. Let's check this one out. Let's see here. Let's do, so I'm gonna add, now I'm just gonna do dominant 7. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna improvise, not with just the triad, but now I'm gonna add the flat 7. Okay, so this is a dominant 7 arpeggio. So for the A, and I gotta thank my jazz studies for the dominant 7th arpeggios. I mean, I spent hours and hours learning how these shapes across the fretboard, and it's totally worth your time, especially if you've got your triads down. The flat 7's just located a whole step below the 1, so wherever you've got a 1, you can grab that flat 7. And that really gives you the blues sound too. So I'm going to do that for each chord. So the A, the B, the E, and the D. And the beautiful thing about guitar, they all have the same shape, right? It's just in a different spot. So let's check it out. Let's see what this sounds like when you add the flat 7. Good line going there. I just flubbed that note. But and what's really fun is after you put in a lot of work. This stuff, obviously I'm thinking about the chord shapes and I'm seeing these patterns, but they're just kind of lighting up in my mind's eye. And I'm just kind of like, when the next one's coming, I'm just kind of flowing. And it's like, whoa, this is a cool little line here coming from the B7 to the E to the A. Like, I would never think to play like that line. So B, like, to the E, to the A. So, yeah. And especially if you're just playing the blues, you're just going to be thinking. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's just keep rolling. And there's other options. There's other ways to solo over this. Let's do, let's just rewind it, and it doesn't matter. I can play it. It doesn't have to be the guitar solo. So let's do, what should we do next? Let's do, so let's just think about it in terms of Mixolydian. So you can play a mix. So anytime you're playing a dominant 7 arpeggio, you can play the Mixolydian scale also, because they're the same. Basically, the Mixolydian, you're just adding the 6 and the 2. And the 4. So you can get a little busier lines here. I'll show you what that sounds like. All right, here we go. Okay, so I kind of, for the most part, I was playing Mixolydian each time. I kind of wasn't 100% accurate on that, but I was just kind of in the flow, and sometimes you don't quite hit everything you're planning on hitting, but as the more you do this, those can be some of the best sounding moments because you're adding tension, sometimes unintentionally, but then since you've studied this, if you work on it, you can resolve the tension. So, yeah, so that's another way to solo. Now let's take the final way. I'm just going to show you how to do this with I'm going to include some blues lines. So you can play the blues over this. Like I said earlier, you can just and this is what most people do. A lot of people, I just shouldn't say most, but a lot of people, when there's any kind of bluesy sound, they're just going to play that minor pentatonic scale. Okay. Well, let me just show you what that sounds like first. Let's get back here a little bit here. Running out of time here. So just pentatonic. So that's just blues. I'm just playing blues, Now I was kind of aware of some of the notes, but I wasn't really thinking too much. So, hey, that sounds fine. I like to use the blues as more of like after I've said some things and gotten into it, maybe as kind of more of an intensity kind of thing as it builds. So let me show you. I'm going to play more of the triads and the, the dominant 7th stuff, and then I'm going to mix in some blues lines here. Okay, so that's kind of when I'm really, I don't know, I guess this is just a good lesson on, you know, it's all available as you start to learn how to play with these triads, with these arpeggios. You start understanding the theory. It's not that you're running into, some people think they're just going to start sounding robotic and things like that. It's actually more like you're just getting in tune more with the music, and then you start to stop thinking about any of it, and then you just start flowing, and all this stuff is at your fingertips, and then you can lock into whatever you want, and you can even go into the blues stuff that you've known the whole time. It's just all a nice little kind of bag of harmonic goodies, I guess, and I just hope this lesson finds you well. And yeah, let me know what you think about this. Just, you know, dissecting some backing tracks. I'll probably do some more analyzing some songs and things like that too. But hit me up with any questions or comments. Peace.